I'm terrified. I just want you to know that, but I'm not terrified as I am of Trump. So that's why I'm here. I've never been a political activist. I'm sorry, I have to read because I'm not a professional like these guys are, the professional paid protesters that Trump likes to accuse us of. I'm an American. I'm a concerned citizen. I'm scared. Prior to this election, I really believed that my civic duty was completed by just voting. But right now, my terror and my outrage at the unprecedented abuse of power and influence that we're witnessing in this country right now has made it impossible for me to be quiet. And the issue of Russian influence is not a partisan issue. We are in a moment of crisis, and this danger to our democracy is real. Robert Reich, a professor of public policy, a renowned author, and someone who served in 3 presidential administrations, describes 7 acts of tyrants. I think you're going to find the description disturbingly familiar. Number 1, tyrants exaggerate their mandate to govern. And these are the reasons, as I go through these, that I'm so terrified and I feel like I need to stand up. They claim they won an election by a landslide, even if they lose the popular vote. They claim massive voter fraud in the absence of evidence in order to restrict voting in future elections. Yesterday, Trump signed an executive order to investigate massive voter fraud. Number 2, tyrants tell anyone who opposes them that they are the enemy. They turn the public against journalists and media outlets that criticize them. They communicate with the public directly through mass rallies and through unfiltered statements. Trump has referred to our media as the enemy of the people. Right now, they are who are protecting us. Wednesday, a journalist was arrested for simply questioning Tom Price.
It's not right.
No, it's not right. Nothing about this is right. Trump has stated that he is looking into changing the First Amendment of our Constitution to allow journalists and the media to be sued. And even though our elections are over, he continues to hold rallies. And that's why we need to be here holding our rallies. Number 3, tyrants tell the public big lies, causing people to doubt the truth and to believe fictions that support their goals. Trump is a compulsive liar, and we have no reason to believe anything he says.
Yes, right.
Number 4, tyrants blame an economic stress on immigrants and minorities, and they provoke public bias against them. They threaten mass deportations, registries of religious minorities, and banning refugees. He has called Mexicans rapists and murderers, referred to Muslims as terrorists, and when he speaks about blacks, he talks about carnage of their cities and criminality. And he has signed an unconstitutional executive order attempting to ban travel from predominantly Muslim countries. Boo. Not right. Tyrants refer to individuals participating in acts of resistance as the enemy within. Just be clear, everyone. We are the enemy to Donald Trump. That's how they use events like this as excuses to beef up internal security and to limit our civil liberties. Trump has referred to protesters as professional anarchists and thugs. And there's bills popping up all over the country that seek to limit our freedoms. Tyrants appoint family members to high positions of authorities, have their own personal security force, and ally themselves with foreign dictators. I don't need to say more about that. He's doing them all. Tyrants keep their personal finances secret in order to cover up gifts from foreign powers and their profiteering from their office. He refuses to release his tax returns, and he will not put his assets in a true blind trust. His actions are straight out of the tyrant's playbook. And if we are complacent, America is on the road to become a dictatorship masquerading as democracy. Even though the actions of our president terrify me, I never knew where to even begin because this is completely new to me. It shocks me that at this point in my life I need to stand up and speak out. I never thought this would happen. What I did was I went to the Women's March in Washington, and they they talked about whether or not we would persist. Well, we're here and we're persisting.
Yeah.
And then I learned about Indivisible, and I joined that group. And we've been really active, and we call our representatives. We march to their offices, have been on a weekly basis, and we have held them accountable. Even in this state, in the beginning, Senator Whitehouse and Senator Reid were voting along with Trump's agenda. And we were able to convince them that we had their back if they would have ours. And they've become emboldened because of our support. So we need to keep up our support of them to let them know that we have their back. I don't have that much more.
Yes, you do.
I know. I just can't stop talking. It upsets me so much. Russia's cyber attack on our election was an act of war against our country, and there's no reason to believe that assault has actually ended. Trump calls Russian interference fake news and has fired everyone attempting to learn the truth. He's obstructed every attempt at an investigation. He is not taking the steps to assure our democratic elections will be free from future Russian attack, and he continues to defend Putin. One must question why Trump would be so reluctant to protect our country, but his links to Russia leave me speechless. Even delaying the investigations as he's done and obstructing them is just an outrage. We must have an independent investigation, and we must have it now. We all need to learn to take action, and we must use our collective voice to protect our freedom. Indivisible has a great guide online to help us learn, and I suggest everyone read it and connect to a group near them. I also suggest that everyone you know in other states that you contact them and enlist them in the fight. Even friends and families in other blue states, because we all need to raise our voice. Americans have lost faith in their leaders, but we must not lose faith in ourselves. We must hold our legislators accountable, and we must make them do their job.
That's right.
We must take back our democratic institutions, and we must defend them. We must do our job as Americans. It's our patriotic duty. Our freedom and the fate of our democracy is in our own hands. Again, I have to say, we need an investigation now.